Glad to have you guys on board. Stand by for comm check.
SpaceX Dragon, loud and clear.
Godspeed, Spotted Dog!
SpaceX is constantly out there surprising the world with their spacecrafts that stand at nearly 400 feet and their plans on making humanity multiplanetary. One more such thing that shook the world was their introduction of a robot dog to inspect their rockets. In fact, there's two of them. Primarily created to enhance efficiency, this robot dog is one of the first samples of how introducing machines in projects such as the Mars colonization can be of great benefit. So how exactly do these machines benefit SpaceX? And why invest over $100,000 when humans can do it at a much cheaper rate? Stick around until the end of the video to find out. In the year 2018, SpaceX had taken over Boca Chica, a small town in Texas, and has started their prototype testing for their spacecrafts, specifically the Starship. Currently standing at 365 feet, NASA's Saturn V was the world's tallest rocket. Elon Musk's spacecraft, on the other hand, intends to take things to a new level. The Starship is to reach a height of 394 feet or 120 meters and have a liftoff thrust of 16 million pounds, making it the world's tallest and most powerful rocket. The Starship is so powerful that it holds 8 million pounds of propellant, 6.2 million pounds of liquid oxygen, and 1.8 million pounds of liquid methane. This is so powerful that its explosion can cause enough smoke to take the lives of everyone in a mile's radius within a minute. At Boca Chica, SpaceX has hired hundreds of workers over the years to ensure non-stop work for 24 hours. However, the most recent employee caught the eyes of everyone working that day. It all started when the employees around there started to get confused over a huge doghouse that had the name Zeus written on it. To their fortune, these confusions were resolved shortly when a spacecraft prototype was undergoing a pressure test and was purposely made to blast, covering the entire area in a cloud of liquid nitrogen, and amidst the clouds came a massive four-legged machine that looked like a dog. That dog was Zeus, or mechanically known as Spot by its creators, Boston Dynamics. SpaceX has constantly been testing the prototypes of their spacecrafts over the past few years, but have been facing one main issue during this process. That is the distance. During the testing of how much pressure one spacecraft can handle, it is very common that pressure is exerted on the spacecraft until it explodes. Now, since the spacecraft is filled with harmful liquids that can be fatal to anyone who is standing nearby, it is mandatory that all SpaceX employees have to be at least a mile away from the place of testing, and all nearby roads have to be closed during this time period. This is not the most ideal situation, as sometimes the confirmation to hold the launch can take hours, as it needs to be ensured that all safety protocols are met. During this time period, SpaceX misses out on a lot of crucial data that allowed them to understand what are the changes that were required and what was the possible cause behind the failure of the spacecraft. This is a problem that cannot be solved even by installing high-quality cameras with sensory detection, and since humans are not allowed near the launch site, SpaceX had to improvise, and that's when they brought in Spot. Spot, or as we know him, Zeus, is not like other robots. This robot is built on some of the strongest technology and artificial intelligence. It has the ability to adapt to various situations. This means that it can study the road in front of it and perform activities such as climbing and descending stairs, walking in mountainous regions, and avoiding rocks that can cause damage to its body. This last one is very important since the explosion often causes an irregular path. This robot dog is enabled with multiple cameras, sensory detection AI, and motors to provide movement. Due to its four-legged structure and extraordinary vision, Spot can comfortably navigate its way where a regular robot with wheels would almost be guaranteed to have an accident. Spot can be controlled via a remote that provides its navigator with the ability to guide it around the launch site and control its features. Furthermore, Spot also has a memory retention feature. In case a trained navigator is not available, it can walk down paths that have been programmed into its memory. The first test of Zeus took place in June 2020 during the SN7 prototype testing, where SpaceX ended up pushing it to failure, which caused a giant explosion and created a vision-impairing cloud of liquid nitrogen that would definitely be fatal if any human went near it. This was when Zeus was seen for the first time. Zeus was inspecting the area around the explosion. Zeus was fully fitted with sensors and cameras to prevent it from interacting with a gas leak from nearby fueling lines. These cameras give the SpaceX personnel an idea of why the spacecraft was not able to withstand the pressure and how it could be improved in the future. It also gave an idea of how the launch pad can be cleared from any residue left and if any damages to the fueling system have to be worked on. Ever since its introduction into the SpaceX launch site, every prototype has seen considerable amounts of improvements due to the data Zeus has gathered. Having Zeus at Starbase has allowed SpaceX to collect the intricate details of the launch. Experts have said that these robots can be equally useful on and outside Earth. This means that when we start building a colony, most likely on Mars, these robots can be of prime help. It is expected that the first trip to Mars will be made without humans, and the plan is to send multiple starships to set up the water and methane plants. While most of the lifting work of the industrial machinery can be done by the inbuilt cranes and lifters inside the starship, robots like Zeus and its counterpart, Apollo, can be useful in lifting some of the smaller and more delicate materials. Most of the existing robots, such as the Mars rover and prototypes that are set to be launched onto Mars, are equipped with wheels. On the other hand, robots like Zeus can be much more helpful due to their structure. There is one problem that can stop this robot from going out to space, and that would be its ability to withstand extreme temperatures. Since it's currently developed for Earth, it can only function in temperatures ranging from 45 degrees to -20. Nevertheless, this should not be considered a major issue, as SpaceX can collaborate with Boston Dynamics and manipulate the temperatures for its functioning. The bigger issue on hand is transferring data to control its movement. On average, it takes around 15 minutes for data to be transferred from Earth to Mars. The rovers currently active on Mars can only move up to 100 meters a day. Considering that each and every movement has been planned meticulously, the most ideal scenario that we feel would be to send Zeus and Apollo to Mars in the presence of humans. This would be beneficial as the robots can be controlled in real time. Having robots and humans sent to Mars at the same time would definitely allow us to record more data as compared to the rovers that are currently occupying the planet. Now, of course, a question that comes to one's mind would be, why do we need robots if humans will be present to record the data? The simple answer to that would be that SpaceX has admitted that humans have certain limitations that only our robotic counterparts can achieve. However, the current generation of technology and artificial intelligence is not strong enough to support such a project. Nevertheless, considering the fact that Musk plans on achieving Mars colonization by 2050, and with technology improving by the day, it seems possible that in the next 2 decades, we can be equipped enough to start this process. But it still remains questionable that humans will be colonizing Mars in the next 3 decades, since to achieve this, SpaceX would have to send around 350 spacecraft every year starting from 2022. So, that's how Zeus and Apollo can come in handy. With their advanced technology and ability to adapt to situations, they can certainly create a mark in the world of technological advancement. What do you think of SpaceX investing in these robot dogs? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, do like this video and subscribe to our channel. We look forward to seeing you again. Until then, happy journeys.